Hey fellow problem solvers, Colfax Math here. Today I have an ASVAB arithmetic reasoning practice test. These are all algebra word problems. They take a little bit of getting used to. Decoding the words is the hardest part. But go ahead and pause the video, do the problem before I do it. Unpause the video, watch how I do it. I have class on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. I have a book on Amazon that's available, and please subscribe to the channel. All right, let's get started. A jacket costs more, $45 more than a shirt. So I have a jacket and a shirt. The jacket is whatever the shirt is plus 45. So I'm going to call the price of the shirt S and the price of the jacket S plus 45. Together they cost 105. So the jacket S plus 45 plus the shirt equals 105. So I've kind of taken my sentence, created a picture to equation, identified what I'm looking for. How much does a shirt cost? Solve the equation. 1S plus another S, 2S plus 45 equals 105. Subtract 45 from both sides. These are not 2S equals 60. S is equal to 30. Correct answer, answer B right there. To get that one right, let's just double check that. The shirt would be 30. The jacket would be 75. Together they are 105. And the jacket is 45 more than the shirt. And I am answering what they're looking for, the price of the shirt. All right, let's do another problem right here, problem number 2. Again, pause the video, do the problem, unpause the video, watch how I do it. A recipe requires 3 cups of flour for every 2 cups of sugar. If the baker uses 9 cups of flour, how many cups of sugar are needed? So I'm looking for the number of cups of sugar. This is one ratio equal to another ratio. That's called a proportion. So I have 3 cups of flour for every 2 cups of sugar. And that is going to have to be equal to 9 cups of flour to how many cups of sugar? A couple ways to do this one. One is I could just go 3 times 3 gets me to 9. 2 times 3 gets me to 6. Therefore, the correct answer, answer C right there, 6 cups. Okay. Move on here, number 3. A car travels at an average speed of 60 miles per hour. That is a rate, 60 miles per hour. 60 miles per hour. How long will it take to travel 210 miles? So I could set this up as a proportion as well. Or I could just think about this. It goes 60 miles per hour. How many hours to get to 210? Well, times 3 is 180. So it's going to be a little bit, so times 3 is 180. Times 4 is 240. So it has to be between 3 and 4. There's only one answer up there between 3 and 4. Correct answer, answer A right there. Remember, it's no calculator. There's got to be a trick to it. It's multiple choice problems, so always check your answers. Okay, problem number 4. I have a 20% discount, and then after the discount, it costs $16. The trick on this one is just pick values, plug them in. 20 times 0.2 is $4 off, so 20 minus that $4 gives me 16. Correct answer, answer A right there. That was easy. It also worked out to be answer A, so I didn't have to go through all of them and eliminate it. But then let's do this one with algebra. So with algebra, I have a 20% discount, which is 0.2. So if the discount is 20%, that means the amount afterwards is 80%, right? So I have an item, 80% of that item is going to equal $16, right? I convert this percent to a decimal, 0.2. 1 minus 0.2 gives me 0.8. 0.8 times the amount will give me the discounted amount. Solving this equation, I divide both sides by 0.8. These cancel. Divide this by 0.8. X is by itself 16 divided by 0.8. Decimal goes over 1, goes over here 1, gives me 160. 8 and a 16, 2, 20. So my answer is $20. Correct answer, answer A. That one was an exception because it worked out to be the first, but I could have done 20 off of this and seeing it wouldn't have been an even to give me the 16. So, okay, let's move on to number 5 right here. So let's see here. Mark is 10 years older than Lisa. In 5 years, the sum of their ages is 40. How old is Lisa now? So these values are the age of Lisa now. So I could just write this out like Mark and Lisa. Mark is 10 years older than his sister Lisa. So we'll just say at this point, Lisa's L, and whatever L is, Mark is 10 years older. In 5 years, so in 5 years, Mark will be L plus 10 plus 5, and Lisa will be L plus 5. And then together, they are going to be, the sum will be 40. So it's this way. So then L plus L is 2L. 15 and 5 is 20, equals 40. Subtract 20 from both sides. 2L is equal to 20. L is equal to 10. Got to be careful here. How old is Lisa now? Well, this was now, and this is in 5 years. So L is 10. Lisa is 10 years old. So the answer is D. Is there a trick on this one? Mark is 10 years older than his sister Lisa. So Mark would have to be 10 years older. Mark would have to be 20. In 5 years, she would be 15 and 25, which would give me the 40. I'm not really seeing a trick on this one. Maybe you see a trick, and if you see a better way to solve it than with the algebra on this one, go ahead and post it in the comments. Love to hear what you have to say on this one. Okay, here's 6. Pause the video, give it a try. I'll say it again because it's on front of my mind. Please hit subscribe. I'm really trying to bump up that number before the end of the year. The sum of two consecutive odd integers is 36. What is a smaller integer? So this is going to be the smaller one. They are odd, so that means the next one up would have to be 21. So this is the larger one. They are consecutive. So the trick on this is just to plug in those values and see where we add up to 36. 19 and 21 is 40, doesn't work. This would be 17 and 19, 36. This one does work. 15 and 17, 32 doesn't. 21 and 23 doesn't work. So that's plugging in the answers to solve. Versus let's do it with algebra. I don't know what the number is, so I'm going to call it x. The other number is 2 more because it's odd. So the other number is x plus 2. They sum to 36. 2x plus 2 equals 36. Combine similar terms. Isolating the variable x, subtract 2 from both sides. 2x equals 34. Divide both sides by 2. X is equal to 17. The two numbers would be 17 and 19, consecutive odd integers. Together they add to 36, what I need. I want the smaller one, correct answer, answer B. I don't know, that one's kind of 50-50. Algebra is pretty quick and easy, and then using the answers to find it was pretty quick and easy. Again, one way isn't better than the other. The more you do, the more you practice, the more you see them done different ways, the better you get at all these problems. Okay, number 7 right here. See if we can figure this out. Worker A can paint a fence in 4 hours. Worker B can paint the same fence in 6 hours. If they work together, how long will it take them to paint the fence? Well, if he's by himself, he does it in 4. So if he has help, it has to be less than 4. So I know it can't be that one or that one. So now if I had to guess, I'd have a 50% chance of getting it right. But let's think of it as he does one fence in 4 hours. He does one fence in 6 hours. Well, if I have to compare them, I could see them comparing fractions. So they would have to have a common denominator of, say, 12. 4 goes into 12, 6 goes into 12. I'd multiply this by 3 over 3. A does the fence, one fence in 3 fences in 12 hours. B, I'm going to multiply this by 2 over 2, does 2 fences in 12 hours. So together they could do 5 fences. I'm going to add those fractions together, add across the top, keep the denominator the same. They could do 5 fences in 12 hours. This is a hard problem. So they do 5 fences in 12 hours. I want to know how long it takes them to do one fence. So hopefully this makes sense how I got a common denominator, got 5 fences in 12 hours. To get to one fence here, I got to divide this by 5. That's going to give me one fence. If I do that to the top, I have to do it to the bottom. So I have to do 12 divided by 5. 5 goes into 12 twice, giving me 10. 2 comes down. 2 and 2 fifths. So 2 hours, convert this to a decimal 0.4. So 2.4 hours. Correct answer is answer C right there. It's a hard problem. I didn't really do it with algebra here. Algebra, I think, would even make it more complicated. So correct answer is answer C. Again, I would call that on the harder side. Fair bit of arithmetic reasoning to get there. Okay, number 8 right here. The length of a rectangle is 5 centimeters more than its width. So we'll call this width. This is length. The length is whatever this is plus 5. We're talking about the perimeter, and the total perimeter is 50. So the quick way to do this is plug in values. 10 and 15. 10 and 15 will give me 25, will give me 50. So I could see that's the right answer. Let's do it with algebra. I know that this W plus this W plus this W plus 5, all 4 of these things added together equal 50. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 W's plus 5 is equal to 50. Subtract 10 from both sides, 4W equals 40. Divide both sides by 4, W is equal to 10. Let's make sure we're finding the right thing. What is the length? Well, the length is not, this is 10, and the length is 10 plus 5, 15. So it is asking what is the length of the rectangle? Correct answer, answer A right there. When I did it quickly, that's how easy it is to make a mistake. I found the width and I just circled B. So you got to read this very carefully. What is the length? And it tells you the length is 5 more than the width. So correct answer, answer A right there. All right, moving on to number 9. See if we can figure this out and then use some algebra. A technician charges $50 service fee plus $30 an hour for repairs. If the customer's budget is $200, what is the maximum number of full hours the technician can work? So it is a $50 fee plus $30 per hour. This has to be 200 or less. I could just kind of pick values and plug them in there. Like 6 hours would be 180, 230, that's not going to work. 7 hours would be 210, 260, that doesn't work. 5 hours would be 150 plus 50, which is 200. That one works right there. So taking the answers, plugging them in, great way to solve. I did create that equation, just decoding that paragraph to the equation. Solving this with algebra, I subtract 50 from both sides, and I get 38 is equal to 150. Divide both sides by 30, and I could see that 8 is equal to 150 divided by 30, or the same, correct answer. Answer C right there. Okay, last step, problem number 10. Pause the video, give it a try. A jar contains 45 total coins consisting of dimes and nickels. So I got nickels and dimes. If the value of the coins is $3.25, let's do everything in pennies, 325 cents, because we're calling nickel 5 cents, not 0.05 of a dollar. How many dimes are in the jar? So this is the way I'm going to do it again. This is dimes. Therefore, this has to be nickels. And then I know together they have to add up to 45. So if I had 20 dimes, that would mean, here, let me erase this right here. Right? So this is dimes and nickels. It would have to add up to 45. So that means I would have to have 25 nickels. Dimes would be 200 plus 1250. I don't know if I could do that in my head, but I think that does work out to 325. If this were 15 and I need a total of 45 coins, this would be 30. This would be 150. This would be 150, right? 15 times 10 cents. Nickels, 30 times 5 is not that, so that one doesn't work. This would be 30 to get to 45. This would be 15. This would be 300 cents in dimes, and this would be 775, 5 times 15, 375. That doesn't work. This would be 20. So this would be 250 cents. This would be $1, not that. So that original one worked through the process of elimination. It was correct answer is answer A. And the way to do this one algebraically is pretty hard. I am saying nickels plus dimes has to equal 45. And then I know that 5 times the number of nickels plus 10 times the number of dimes has to equal 325. Two equations, two variables. I could combine them. I could substitute. I don't know if there's an easy way to do this algebraically. I could multiply this, both sides of the equation, by -5 and do a linear combination. So I'm going to go -5n -5d is equal to 225, -225. Add these two equations together. These cancel, giving me 5d is equal to 100. D is equal to 20. How many dimes are in the jar? D equals 20. Correct answer. Answer A right there. Kind of battled our way through that one through trial and error using the answers. And then algebraically, again, not an easy problem. Again, I sure hope this was helpful for you. The goal is to keep practicing, keep working at it. I do have this book right here, Math Test Success. I have 25 corresponding videos that go along with this book. You get this book on Amazon, work your way through one chapter, one video, and I'll kind of work through there with you. So it's just a place for you to take your notes. All right, I hope this video is helpful. Did a lot of these problems and different things, maybe in a live event, but I thought I'd put them all together and work through all of them. Thank you.